Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Rome Business Radio. We are broadcasting from the Hardy Realty Studios here on Broad Street in downtown Rome, Georgia. This is the Rome Floyd Chamber Small Business Spotlight. We work in cooperation with the Rome News Tribune. I'm Roger Manus with Rome Business Radio.
I'm Carly Parker with the Rome Floyd Chamber. And today on our podcast, we have Robbie South with WealthWave, the How Money Works company, Caris Barton with Magic Fingers Therapeutic Massage, Mark Suroviec.
Yes.
With the WorkPlay solution. I was scared I was going to mess that up.
you nailed it.
I think we can spend our entire first few minutes here pronouncing Cerovic. But I think we've got it solved finally. Hello, gentlemen. How are you?
Good.
Doing well.
Thanks for being here. We do appreciate it. And interested to hear a little bit more about all your businesses and your stories and create some connections here as we do on Rome Business Radio. Just kind of going left to right here. Robbie, tell us a little bit about WealthWave, the How Money Works company. How does money work?
Well, that's what we teach people. We have a number one personal finance book, How Money Works, Stop Being a Sucker. So we have some great resource because most people have not had a financial education. So what we do is we go with our book and we take them through our 7 money milestones to teach them how money works so their money can work for them.
Wow. And when money's working for you, I think my dad told me many years ago, if you can do a job where you do something one time, but the money keeps working for you, that's the way to do it.
Absolutely. Because most of us spend time working for money and we spend working, 40 hours or more on a job. So we want people to be educated and know how money works so that they can have more time to spend with their families and enjoy life the way they do and stop being the sucker that the financial has been taking advantage of for years.
You talk about a creative slogan.
Exactly.
That works for me. Caris with Magic Fingers Therapeutic Massage, Caris Barton. Thanks for being here. Before we get started, my neck's a little sore. So tell us a little bit about what you do and your business.
I'm a massage therapist, and I typically have a few specialties or demographics of people I work with. Typically, I work with people that suffer from fibromyalgia, migraines, and then people that just need relaxation because it's a stressful world we're in.
Isn't that the truth? How long have you been doing it?
About 4 years now.
And what got you into it? What was the draw?
The draw was I was a student at Georgia Northwestern Technical College at the time here in Rome. And I was looking for other health programs because I decided I didn't want to do nursing. And I found neuromuscular therapy. That's what the program was, which is a fancy way of saying massage therapy for pain issues and stuff. And I ended up meeting with the instructor who was the advisor, and that was that. It drew me in.
And here we go. Okay, we'll circle back around. Mark Cerovic, WorkPlay Solutions. Okay, WorkPlay.
Mm-hmm.
Just from the name, sounds like trying to find balance.
Yes, sir.
And can you tell us a little bit more about it?
Yeah, so WorkPlay Solutions is a training and consulting company dedicated to the idea that life is too short for work to suck. So
another creative slogan.
So
I think the theme of this is like life shouldn't suck. Yeah. Financially, body, and then work as well.
Absolutely. So what we do is I create events and training for corporations, nonprofits, schools, whoever, and whether that's team building, whether that's management training, I can consult with a organization to help them build their own thing, or you can attend one of my events. So,
okay. And how did you get started in this?
I went to graduate school. My master's is in sports psychology and counseling. And while I was there, I did an internship and discovered the world of experiential learning. And through that led me to I had a long-time role with the WinShape Foundation in their team and leadership department called WinShape Teams. And so I worked there for a number of years and just started this business about a year ago.
Okay. I'm intrigued by a lot, so let's just kind of keep the conversation going. And guys, if you have comments for each other, this is a cocktail party without the cocktails, as I like to say. Okay, WealthWave. Are you a financial advisor telling people how to invest their money, or do you just really give them the big picture concepts and the tools so that they are more aware of what they could be doing.
We are education based.
Education based.
However, we can guide you and educate you along the way to help you put your money in the best places possible so it will work for you.
Okay. And what is your background?
I've been in public safety for most of my life, since about 1996. And as a matter of fact, that is what brought me to this company. November of 2020, I was at work at the fire department on a fire, and I broke my foot. And I was out of work for 9 months.
Uh-oh.
I had recently been divorced, bills, household, child support, alimony. I could not survive with what I had saved up, because all I could do was sit around. And I went from working 2 full-time jobs, working as a firefighter and an EMT, making, decent money, to 66% of my workers' comp salary, or fire department salary. So I was getting 66% of that alone.
Right.
So that was a huge financial impact for me. So I had to be looking for other options to survive. And that's when I came across WealthWave, the How Money Works company.
So you educated yourself first.
Absolutely. That's what we have to do.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to know how it works. If you don't, then you're not going to survive. You're not going to get ahead. Because how many of you have heard of Rule 72?
This is a podcast, so a show of hands won't work.
but most people have not, right? So what that is a simple mental mathematical short.
Yeah, that's the I actually have heard of this,
Yeah.
but you're going to have to tell me the formula. But it's a mathematical way to determine what you need.
When your money will double.
Yeah.
So all you do is take your interest rate divided by 72. So 72 divided by 0.09%.
Yep.
That's 800 years. Who's got time to wait 800 years for your money to double? I know I don't.
Right.
So we teach people the better ways to invest that. That's what I've had to learn. And we kind of, teach people that and kind of guide them along the journey of how to place their money to make it work for them the best.
Now, are you a franchise of a larger organization, or is this just you?
I do have lots of teammates.
Okay.
We're independent agents.
There we go. Okay.
But we do have teammates. Our U.S. headquarters is based in Johns Creek, Georgia.
Okay.
That's where Tom Matthews, our author, is headquartered out of. I go and I have meetings with him usually once a month just to learn from him what he has been successful in. And that's the excellent part about this company is, you can talk to anybody and they will guide you and educate you. They want everybody to be successful.
Now, how's your ankle?
It's much better. I'm fully recovered. I'm back at work. As a matter of fact, I was at work yesterday and had to hurry up here this morning.
Okay. So this is a side hustle for you.
At the moment, yes.
Yeah.
And that's how we do things. We start people out part-time if they choose to. Like me, I've never had this type of experience before in my life. So, I signed on. I'm learning as I go. We're going to educate everybody that comes on with us, and we're all going to learn to be successful as we go.
Yeah, if you can put your money to work for you, that's a good place to be. But one of the things it sounds like all three of you share is, like a better word, kind of the entrepreneurial spirit to do your own thing. So, what are some of the risks and rewards from starting your own business, Caris?
Well, the risk is potentially when you first start, there'll be a reduction in your pay, compared to when you're an employee and stuff. But
did you work somewhere else for another place first?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and I'm still there part time until my business takes off.
Okay.
And because bills got to be paid.
That's right.
But but the rewards are so much better. Work life balance and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, WorkPlay.
There you go.
So what about you? How did you come up with this concept? Mm-hmm. And this is just you, right?
This is just me.
Yeah. So this is not a national thing, but although
not yet.
That's the entrepreneurial thing. So just tell me about what your background is from an employee, like you used to work somewhere, and then starting this up. What was that risk like?
Yep. So for maybe about 17, 18 years, I would describe myself as a facilitator and or trainer. So I would lead experiential learning programs, did staff training, those kind of things. So I managed the ropes course out at WinShape and created a lot of the interesting activities that folks do when they do one of their programs out there. So I kind of design activities, do staff training, resource development, those kind of things. And it's more fun than having a real job. So,
so under your WorkPlay model, correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm ignorant. A business has 25 employees, and they come to their job, but you're the boss, and you're wanting to build some team chemistry and make work fun. So you create events for that company. And is it like outings, or is it at the office? What are the options?
So it's really, I'm able to customize things based on what their goals or outcomes are. So I think most people fit into one of these kind of buckets. One is that kind of connection. Hey, we just want to get folks together and smile and laugh and have a positive experience. That's easy. We can do that. I've got a design your own mini golf challenge, which folks could do. So if I took that team of 25, I would give them a bunch of supplies, and they would actually create a real working mini golf course of 3 or 4 holes, and we would have some conversations around that. If they had more, and then kind of moving up into that professional development, if they had issues with communication or teamwork or management skills, I can teach actual workshops on some of those topics. And a lot of my work is actually consulting. So a company might say, hey, we're doing this training on X. Right now we have a 2-hour PowerPoint, and people just sit there staring glassy-eyed. How can we make that more
the glassy-eyed PowerPoint?
So I do a lot of consulting in, hey, this is how you create a better training. This is how you make it experiential. This is how you make learning fun and memorable. So it's either that kind of consulting route, or I create something as a standalone event or to fit inside of an event or retreat. So I'm based out of my house, so we don't do any events at my house. So I come to you. I come to a conference center. I come to your office, inside, outside. I travel. Everything fits in my car. It works great.
So what's interesting is it's not just an event to say, okay, let's have a great afternoon, which you could do. Going to a Rome Braves game. There's applicable connection created that will improve productivity.
Yes,
as a consequence or a goal, I guess.
Yes.
So it's, you might not have worked with that person because they sit 4 cubes away, but now you're building that's kind of what your goal is.
Yes, absolutely. So what we've discovered is that rarely is it that somebody's job sucks because of the job. It's often, relationships, or it's, managers that don't understand their role or don't have the training to do what they do, or there's just a lot of things that kind of suck the life out of your job, and it's rarely ever your job. So we're just passionate about trying to take anything we can to insert joy and purpose into the workplace.
Well, as you said, life's too short for work to suck. So what are some of the biggest mistakes people make? Just not paying attention to their money, or early in life, midlife? What are some of the bigger mistakes that we're making?
Time. We teach the time value of money. So what that means is you need to start earlier. Now, it's never too late to start, but if you start early on in life, you're going to be much better off than waiting until you're close to retirement age, because there does become a point to where you're going to be unable to save what you need for retirement. So we want to get people started on that track as early as possible.
You hear that, Carly?
And we go into businesses and we teach these classes. We can do a before work, after work, 1 hour lunch, and provide this to their employees at no cost to the employee or the company. Oh,
so this is not even a one-on-one thing.
No, we can do large groups.
And through their businesses, and the business could pays you.
No.
Okay.
No, the company does not charge the company. We do not charge the employee. We come in, we put on this class at no cost and get them educated.
Wow. Well, that sounds like some people ought to be jumping all over that.
Oh, we would love it. It's a great thing.
Okay. All right, Caris. I've never met a Caris. We were talking about that beforehand.
Nope, no one has my name.
Where did it come from?
My great-grandfather.
Just a family name?
Just a family name. We don't know where he got it from.
Yeah, I don't meet a lot of Rogers, but Roger's a name that we've all heard. But what
Right.
Caris is?
Oh, no. It's actually funny. People ask me the story of how I got my name, and I think they expect this huge, a very interesting story, and it's just, I don't have one. I guess I should make one up.
Well, no offense, but I know a lot of Mark and Robbies. So, and I've met a few Carlys.
It's becoming more popular.
Well, it's because of the trend you set.
Well, I think talking about my age, Carly Simpson, Simon, whatever. What's her name?
That's Carly Simon. She was a singer way back when. I guess she's still around.
And thousands of Surovics you probably run into.
Yeah, exactly. Mark, you mentioned, I'm sorry, Caris, we were talking to Caris about his massage therapy. You had said that some of it's not just relaxation. So what are some of the other things that you can, and symptoms and things you can help relieve and improve?
Well, take migraines. A lot of times they're in our neck and shoulders. And so you massage them out, typically not with, whenever your neck and shoulders are tight and constricting, a lot of times they can cause headaches. And so typically with those, you're not doing a light pressure because, it's not going to relieve. So typically you do a firm to deep as well as I do.
Right. And so, and then, so migraines can be, I'm not a medical doctor. So migraines can be relieved or can be just stress-based totally?
Totally. It can be. There's various different causes. It could be chemical, meaning like hormonal and stuff. So you kind of have to, of course, make sure that you do a consultation and make sure people know people's medical histories and all that. And
where are you located?
I'm located on Riverside Parkway here in Rome. In the office complex, right past the Social Security Administration building.
Right. So you're between downtown and the ballpark on Riverside.
Pretty much, yes.
Down across from the Chieftains Museum.
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit, yeah. Everybody in town knows where that is. So, guys, when you're starting your own business, what are the challenges to let people know you're in business? I guess that's applicable for all of you because you've basically been doing this and trying to get it going. And Robbie, we can start with you.
My biggest challenge, because I just recently moved to Rome back in May. So I'm totally new to this area. So getting the word out, just advertising, letting people know that I'm here and I'm available to offer these services, trying to find the connections. Of course, I found the chamber, which is a great resource there, and love the chamber. So just being able to get the word out has been a challenge for me and meeting new people.
Where'd you move from?
I lived in Temple, Georgia for most of my life in Carroll County.
Okay, so that's where you were a firefighter, and
yes, and I still work as a firefighter in that area, and I just commute back and forth.
Okay, so what brought you here?
Well, I found a house that I could afford. The housing market's crazy right now. The house I was renting sold, and I had to pick up and move, and we searched high and low, and I had a deadline, and found a wonderful house up here on the west side, and here I am and loving it.
Well, great. Well, welcome to town. and the chamber's a great place to start. Carly, you got to love hearing that.
Yes, I do. I actually, when we finish, all three of these men are having a ribbon cutting. So it's all very exciting for the chamber, too, introducing new businesses and everything. So
the chamber, obviously, the connectivity there helps to get the word out about what you're doing. But like Caris, I would imagine you're definitely all of you are probably a word of mouth industry as well.
Oh yes, as well. Which is actually where the chamber comes in, because the chamber really has been a great resource for me as well.
And word of mouth, when somebody comes out of a massage and goes, "Oh, that felt great."
Oh yes, well I do a marketing thing where I have my business card and write their names on the back of it, and pretty much I tell them to either refer 3 people to me and they actually show up and book an appointment and everything. Then they get their next full hour massage half off.
Oh, nice!
If they all 3 show up.
So you've got your clients marketing for you. You're incentivizing word of mouth is what you're doing.
Correct.
That's a great plan. Interesting. I love hearing how people start up their business and get the word out. What about WorkPlay? Mark, what do you do?
I have a podcast So a shout out for my podcast, so the WorkPlay Solutions podcast. So catchy title there. But I think my biggest challenge has been just describing what my business does, because it's based on my skill set, and I like to do a lot of different things. So really clarifying what we do, because when I started the business, the thing that was most clear was the mission, the why, I don't want anyone to have the life sucked out of them by their job. And there's a lot of ways to approach that problem. And so I think my biggest challenge has been explaining what we actually do and what we don't do. So,
well, you mentioned some people just get unhappy at work, and you say it's not necessarily the job all the time, but I've worked with people where they just come in and they're nice people who've become so miserable that they make life unbearable for everybody around them. How do you fix that?
Well, I think Adam Grant, who's an organizational psychologist, coined this. He didn't invent the term, but he made it popular. This idea of languishing, where it's you're not burnt out, you're not depressed, but it's kind of this blah feeling that is an extended period of time. And he labeled that as the dominant emotion of 2020 and 2021. So a lot of people experiencing that.
COVID based kind of?
Some of it's COVID, and some of it is just
the pandemic.
Is understanding that there's plenty of employers that don't view their employees as humans, and that's unfortunate.
Right.
And I think, if one of the best things we can do is say that employees are people first and take care of people's needs. So do they have community? Do they have purpose? Does their work matter? Does, do they have autonomy over the kind of work they do, or are they treated like children that need a hall pass to use the restroom? And it's demoralizing.
Yeah, it's interesting, and this may get into your psychology background, not necessarily sports psychology. This might fall under the term of midlife crisis, but I have talked with friends over the years. I never felt or experienced this, but they hit a point in their life where they became unhappy at work, and it kind of dawned on them that they had reached an age where they realized, well, this is all I'm going to be. This is, I'm not going to be president of the United States, or I'm not going to be a Major League Baseball player. Is that a psychological thing that permeates offices, and does this WorkPlay, would it address those people who just aren't going to be happy?
So I think, one of the big topics in the news right now is the Great Resignation. So
there we go.
So what, people are leaving their current job in droves and seeking out greener pastures. And when you look at the research, there's a lot of different reasons for that. And some of it's just like, I've got a crappy commute. Like, why would I stay in my car 4 hours a day unless I can listen to a good podcast?
But do you know of any?
Two.
and to me, personally, that's one thing I love about being an entrepreneur and having my own business is the freedom to do what we want to do when we want to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But also hand in hand with entrepreneurship is you're the one pushing to work the hardest.
Absolutely. But with hard work comes great rewards.
Yeah, that's right. But you create your own opportunities, because people forget entrepreneurs aren't laying on their couch, watching Netflix in the middle of the day.
Exactly.
The entrepreneur, if they have people working for them, the entrepreneur has to make sure that person gets paid before they do.
Yes.
Whether you're opening a dry cleaner or doing whatever it is you're doing. So anyway, I didn't mean to interrupt your train of thought.
And that's what we do is we teach people how to start their own business. We have our E2E brand. Employee,
what brand?
E2E, number 2E, employee to entrepreneur. So they can come in and we can guide them along the way to know how to become an entrepreneur and be successful.
Right. Because there's probably bumps in the road that you don't even think about.
Absolutely.
I got to pay taxes.
Exactly.
A lot more than 20% employee taxes.
But with an entrepreneur, look at the tax benefits you get to be able to write things off. I work remotely, so I work out of my house and do Zoom a lot. So that means I can write off certain things that the average W-2 person cannot.
Right.
So there's give and take with lots of advantages to being an entrepreneur that the average person may not know about.
And there's I'm digressing here, but I love the History Channel. They do these the blank that built America shows.
Yes.
Well, I've been watching reruns of the food that built America, because literally, if you go back, just about everything, there was a guy or two people or a husband and wife or what have you, that just started 100 years ago, 150 years ago, and it's Campbell's soup or Anheuser-Busch beer. There's, it's got a name attached to it. That was an entrepreneur taking a risk.
Exactly.
I watched the one recently, Intiman's Cakes was just a matriarch of a family, and her husband had passed away, and they had a little bakery, and she thought big.
That's what entrepreneurs do.
She thought big, and it's just a great story. People tried to buy her out, and she was like, no, thanks.
The best way to become a successful entrepreneur is to identify a problem and then come up with a solution.
Identify a problem and come up with a solution.
Yes.
So see something that somebody hasn't seen yet, a need that people don't know exists. Find that need, fill it.
Yes.
I love it.
So you teach stuff like that.
Yeah, how money works. Don't have the education. We got that book. We've got, we teach all kinds of stuff, women's courses, the entrepreneur stuff. And it's because there's a problem that's not been resolved before. So that's what we're here to do is to solve those problems.
Love it.
Yep. Well, as Carly knows, sometimes I digress into Elvis Presley. But when you make a record one time in the studio in 1956, and here 70-something years later it's still selling, that's a good job.
I actually did look up where he's ranked, listened to. He's the 259th most listened to person in the world, still to this day.
Still to this day.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, that's even. I think I had read years ago that the. Something like 80% of the people who tour Graceland now weren't alive when he was.
Oh, wow.
So he's being handed down. But
Yeah.
again, I'm digressing, as I often do, because I love Elvis Presley and college football, and so sometimes we change subjects here. Although Carly and I don't see eye to eye on college football, but I am trying to turn her into a bigger Elvis fan.
We're getting in that direction. Yes.
Well, let's go around the room here and just kind of get any final thoughts of anything you want to make sure you got addressed, and contact information, social media. How can people follow you, engage you, hire you, do business with you? Robbie, we can start with you.
The easiest way to get a hold of me is through my website, Robbie, Robbie, South, just like the direction.com. When that loads up, you'll see a tab where you can book an appointment, get a lot of information from me there. I am on all social media websites. You just find my name there, but the easiest way is just go to my website.
Okay, and WealthWave is the technical name of the company, right? Or do y'all go by the How Money Works company? Both. Okay.
Yes.
Is that more of a slogan, or is it kind of that's what we want to go by?
We go by all. I mean, we have the WealthWave because that's one of our brands. We have the How Money Works brands, and then we have the E2E because we do all those types of things. And I have a website for each of those, but that's the easiest way to get hold of me and find all of them is through the RobbieSouth.com.
RobbieSouth.com. Okay. Caris? People feeling stressed, how can they get a hold of you?
Well, I have a website, magicfingerstherapeuticmassage.com, and I also have a Facebook page, and they can just find me on there. I do online booking or online scheduling for people's convenience.
And what are your hours?
My hours are Wednesday. I do lunchtime appointments about 11 to 1. Fridays and Saturdays, I am open from 9 to 9. And also come up this August, I'll be expanding Thursday, 9 to 9 as well.
And what are do you do 60-minute options, 90-minute? How does all that work?
Oh, yeah. So I do 60-minute options, so $80 for a full hour, $120 for a full 90 minutes, and also $200 for a full 2 hours.
Gotcha. Okay. And Mark, how can people do business with WorkPlay?
The easiest way to get a hold of me is either just email me, mark@workplaysolutions.com, or go to the website, workplaysolutions.com, and click the Get Started button. I'm on all the social medias as WorkPlay Soul. That's WorkPlaysol. and spend a lot of time on LinkedIn, mostly LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook. And if you like podcasts, the WorkPlay Solutions podcast is always looking for guests and listeners. So give me a shout out.
Beautiful. Carly, I know you want to mention, you mentioned their ribbon cuttings.
Yes, they're actually all in August, and y'all can go to the Chamber's schedule website. That's romegeorgia.com, and you can see everyone's ribbon cuttings coming up. And then we also have a ribbon cutting next week for the East Rome Walmart renovation at 8 a.m. And then we have a YP event next week. That's for young professionals, and we encourage anyone that is young, 22, between 40. So to come and join. There are a lot
40,
of fun.
40 is young?
Yes. They might just be moving to Rome. So we want to give them that opportunity. That's not even like half their life now. So that's until 50, I guess.
I was just messing with it. Okay. So I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're fine. And then one last thing is we're still taking directory changes. If anyone wants to update their information, they can still email me at kparker@romegeorgia.com.
RomeGA.com.
Yes, RomeGA.com.
Yeah. Okay. I think I made that mistake years ago, and I tried to send an email. No. It's the abbreviation. It's not the spelling. At RomeGA.com. Okay. Any final thoughts? Thanks for being here. Anybody they got any last little thing they want to chime in?
I just wanted to say thank you for what you do to help support small businesses, and what I'm excited about learning about both of y'all. So,
absolutely. Thanks for having me. Enjoy it.
Oh, yes. Thanks for having me as well. It's a wonderful opportunity.
Well, appreciate y'all being here. We love creating connections in the room, and good luck with your ribbon cuttings and as your business grows. This has been great. As always, thank you, Carly. You've been listening to the Rome Floyd Chamber Small Business Spotlight. We broadcast from the Hardy Realty Studios on Broad Street in downtown Rome, Georgia, and we work in cooperation with the Rome News Tribune. Thanks again for listening.